is Way 31 News at 10.
All quiet for now, but already have our sights set on our next weather maker. I'll have an update on what that means for your weekend coming up in your forecast.
And more tax cuts could soon be on the way for Alabama families. From Way 31 reporter Philip Green live outside of the State House. Coming up, I'll have the details on what those tax cuts could look like.
We're learning more about a North Alabama man and his special recognition in President Trump's address at the Capitol. I'm Jim Abbott in Trinity, where the man's co-workers say all that attention is well-deserved.
It's great to have you with us for Way 31 News at 10. I'm Nicole Williams. Well, believe it or not, tonight we'll see near freezing temps after last night's warm spring-like weather. Let's check in now with Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle to tell us what's in store.
Well, Nicole, we are keeping an eye on the thermometer tonight. By the weekend, we're going to be tracking rain on the radar, perhaps. Not looking like it's going to be high impact wet weather coming in for Saturday, Sunday, but I'll have a preview of that next system on the way in your forecast. Again, the story tonight, it's cold and it's still a bit windy out there. Winds are not what they were, but they're still strong enough to make it feel quite chilly out there. We're down to 40 in Huntsville. It's 37 in Fayetteville this hour, 41 Moulton, same in Coleman, as well as Gunnersville. You look at the smaller number here, that is your wind chill, and in many cases, it is already feeling like it is at or below the freezing mark. So prepare to bundle up if you are going to be out this evening, and certainly first thing tomorrow morning. All quiet here, Way 31 triple Doppler. There's nothing that we are tracking precip-wise outside of underneath some of these clouds. Maybe a couple snow flurries, but nothing that is heavy enough to show up on radar this evening or on into tonight. Decatur right now, all calm on our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam network over there. Certainly a bit of a change from what we had this time yesterday evening when rain and storms were still tracking across portions of the Tennessee Valley. Won't be an issue in the morning in terms of rainfall, but the cold will. 32 degrees at the bus stop. Make sure the kids are bundled up. We will have cloud cover to start, but sun to finish the day. It's just not going to warm us up a whole lot. Breezy and cool through tomorrow afternoon with temperatures that will only top out, it looks like, in the low to mid 50s in most areas. Back in just a few moments, I'll let you know when we're going to warm back up and by how much coming up in your forecast.
All right, Jeff, thank you. New at 10, Alabama's GOP leaders say people in the state can benefit from proposed tax cuts in a legislative package of bills circulating at the State House right now. Way 31's Philip Green joins us live from there with more details from the chairman of the Republican Party.
Yeah, good evening, Nicole. Today I spoke with John Wall, and he tells me that this package of bills is aiming to specifically cut taxes and provide relief for Alabama families. Now, the four-bill package includes over $190 million in tax cuts, and it's focusing on reducing the grocery tax by another full percent, doubling the previous 1% reduction. Now, he also says one bill is addressing the needs of seniors on fixed incomes. It's going to double the threshold for tax-free retirement income to $24,000. House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter and Committee Chairman Danny Garrett are in support of this package, and Wall says he expects these bills to pass swiftly.
Look, these are good policy changes for the state right now. We want to address these issues that we're concerned about, people being able to put food on their table, and just helping lessen the burden, tax burden on Alabama citizens. I'm very hopeful that we're going to see a very swift passage of these bills out of the State House of Representatives and then moving on to the Senate, where I also expect a very favorable response.
Now, Wall also notes that since 2020, lawmakers cut over $1 billion in taxes, and we'll continue to follow this legislative package and let you know when it continues to move forward. But for now, reporting live outside of the State House with coverage you can count on, Philip Green, Way 31 News.
All right, Philip, thank you. Making child care affordable for families in Alabama and across the country. That's the mission behind Alabama Senator Katie Britt and Virginia Democratic Senator Tim Kaine's child care package. The Child Care Availability Act and the Child Care Workforce Act would update current tax provisions. They say it helped more parents afford child care while also addressing child care workforce challenges by creating a pilot program to boost the supply of child care workers.
This piece of legislation doesn't create another entitlement. It actually reforms our tax code. Now, the tax code has not been addressed on this issue of childcare since 2001. In 2001, gas was $1 and some change, and From 2001 to now, the price of childcare has doubled.
Britt says her goal with this legislation is to allow parents who want to re-enter the workforce the opportunity to do so without sacrificing their children's needs. Anyone in Alabama caught with parts to convert a firearm into a machine gun could face up to a decade in prison. That's if SB 116, that's on the table in Montgomery, passes. It made it out of committee today. The bill makes possession of a Glock switch a Class C felony. Right now, there's no state law that makes Glock switches illegal. They are illegal under federal law. 4 Montgomery men now formally charged for their roles in the mass shooting at Tuskegee University's homecoming last November. The Macon County Sheriff's Office says Jalen Lessick, Ramiro Frazier II, Ladarius Gant, and Jaquez Myrick are charged with firing a gun on school property. All 4 men are from Montgomery. Jaquez Myrick was already in the Montgomery County Detention Facility on federal charges in this case. It was allegedly for possessing a machine gun conversion device or a Glock switch. He's accused of leaving the scene with that device. Tonight, all 4 men are locked up. Still, no one is charged with the murder of 18-year-old Latavian Johnson. He's a young man from Troy who was shot and killed in that shooting. 16 others were injured, 12 suffering gunshot wounds. House lawmakers are trying to get on the same page when it comes to legislation prohibiting youthful offender status for certain murder charges. House Bill 146 applies to those 16 or older who are charged with capital or intentional murder. Some lawmakers push back on the proposal, though. One representative says it takes away a judge's ability to make decisions on individual cases.
Judges should never legislate from the bench. However, the court handles cases and controversies that come before it. The court does not handle policy decisions. It handles cases and controversies on an individual basis that comes before it. And to remove the discretion of the judge who knows the facts of the particular case that is coming before that judge, you are eroding the ability of the court to make the decisions that it needs to make as it deals with that particular case or that particular controversy.
An amended version did gain enough support to pass out of the House Tuesday. It'll head to a Senate committee next for consideration. If it makes it to the governor's desk, it'll be known as Jolie's Law. Nursing moms are one step closer to being exempt from jury duty. Lawmakers in the House advanced a legislative proposal today. The bill's sponsor says it would codify an Alabama Supreme Court order into law. That order came down after the viral story about a Jefferson County mother who had to bring her breastfeeding infant to jury duty. Right now, more than 20 other states in the country exempt nursing mothers or allow them to postpone their service. A push to permanently protect IVF access will unfold at the State House on Thursday. The advocacy group Fight for Alabama Families will be there to also mark 1 year of the IVF Immunity Act. House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter and Decatur Representative Terry Collins will also be there. The Alabama Department of Public Health is asking for your help to improve the health of women and children in our state. All you have to do is complete a public input anonymous survey. ADPH says it'll use the information to make sure that it uses funds to meet the rules of a federal block grant program. And if it's time for your cancer screening, you can get a free cancer screening here in North Alabama. It's available through the Alabama Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program. Hudson Alpha Institute for Biotechnology also offers free tests. They also recommend that you reach out to your local county health department. Well, today was all about helping people beat addiction in our state capital. And what better day than Recovery Advocacy Day for organizations to get together to connect people struggling to free themselves from addiction. They were able to get help with substance abuse disorders, employment assistance, and legal support. The executive director of the Alabama Alliance for Recovery Residency says today was a day of inspiration.
Today was about bringing together recovery organization professionals from all across the state. It was really an inspirational day, and I think really for people that are facing that struggle with substance use disorder.
Governor Kay Ivey officially proclaimed March 5th Recovery Advocacy Day here in Alabama. The State Department of Mental Health planned the event. Expanding emergency care in Madison. Crestwood Medical Center is asking the city for approval to build a freestanding emergency department. That's according to a zoning application obtained by Way 31 News. It shows that the 12,000 square foot building with a helipad would be located off Madison Boulevard and Research Boulevard. The zoning board will meet tomorrow night and expects to recommend approval for the rezoning. New at 10, we're learning more about the Decatur man recognized in President Trump's address last night. His co-workers say he deserves all the attention he's getting. Way 31 reporter Jim Abbott has more from Trinity tonight.
Jeff Denard's special recognition from President Trump in his address at the Capitol was months in the making. But for the select few who were in the know, it was difficult to keep it quiet.
And then he called me like maybe Thursday before to fly out, and he's like, okay, don't tell anybody. But he called me, he's like, you're not going to believe this.
Fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard.
Kim Petty's known Jeff Denard for years, working with him at the Trinity Volunteer Fire Department, where she's the assistant chief and he's a captain. And during the big reveal on national television, all of his fellow firefighters were at the station watching.
We're just so excited. I think every one of us, all the fire department members, we all have pictures now on our phones that we took of our TV. We were just so excited, so proud of him. He's just worked so hard just to do all this. He and his wife are incredible.
Denard and his wife Nicole run a foster home where they've taken care of at least 40 children. Add to that Denard's job with Nucor Steel in Decatur, where he's worked for over 25 years, and his time at the fire department. Petty says he started when he was just 17 years old.
He is a positive influence. Like, he likes to encourage people to do whatever. Like, he'll always give, that's great, you know, that's the way it should be done, or how about let's do it this way, you know, but always very, very encouraging.
The Denards are headed back now to North Alabama. Reportedly enjoy the excitement in Washington, D.C., but are now ready for some things to get back to normal. In Trinity with coverage you can count on, Jim Abbott, Way 31 News.
I'm here outside of the nearly 400 acres of annexed land that will soon become a new development, which the community has raised concerns over. I've got the details on that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, the weather pattern remains an active one, not unusual for this time of year. I'll show you what we're tracking in the days ahead coming up in your forecast after the break.
Coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News at 10 with Nikel Williams, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle, and Sports with Max Cohen.
We've seen your concerns online and questions about the newly annexed land just outside of Morrisville. Tonight we can tell you that land will now be a part of Huntsville, and in the coming years will go under development by a Nashville-based company. Wait 31's Georgia Clark spoke with a local organization speaking out against the development and its developers. She brings us that story tonight and what we can expect.
Here behind me is the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, but just down the road is nearly 400 acres worth of land that over the next few years is going to start to look very different. Native Habitat Project member and forester Kyle Leibarger got the community's attention after posting about Chickasaw plum trees he believes reside on the land annexed and set for development. This farmland is just off of I-565, and he says plans to develop this land any farther are ridiculous.
In my opinion, disrespectful to the wildlife and to what makes North Alabama North Alabama. I mean, you put in a ton of houses and a ton of lighting there, you're messing up their migration patterns.
Leibarger says these trees are on the fence line, but we couldn't get close to them without going onto private property. Rochford Realty, the developers out of Nashville, say they voluntarily conducted a tree survey and found no plum trees. Leibarger says these trees would be easy for most foresters to miss.
Even when I graduated forestry school, I could have walked through the forest like that and missed it because I didn't know as much then. And so it really depends on who's doing those surveys and how experienced they are. But
Rochford says regardless of the tree's presence on the land, their goal is to work cohesively with nature, keeping as many trees as possible with slow growth in the area.
On where roads might go, where houses might go, where utility lines might go, so that we can protect that as much as possible. Because even though we're looking at a 30-year pro forma, I'd much rather keep a tree than have to grow one.
Head over to our website, waytv.com, to find out more about the Native Habitat Project, as well as the Rochford Development Project happening here in Limestone County. I'm reporting with coverage you can count on. Georgia Clark, Way 31 News.